But all right, now I guess we'll get into the videos. The first one I want to start out with is from Montoya, and Montoya is talking about Star Citizen funding. I think he loves the business side of these things, and yeah, I think it's always fun to watch videos from Montoya on this stuff because I think he's probably one of the more informed and more interested in this. So he does the research and figures it out. While I don't really do it as much. So the thing for me is I do sort of feel strongly. I have an opinion on this, and like based off of his title, right? Star Citizen still on track for record sales. And that's okay, but let's watch the video, but I definitely have an opinion about this.
With 1 day remaining of the Invictus event, Star Citizen seems to be falling a little bit short of last year's sales. Let's dive in and take a close look at the numbers.
It's over now, right? So did they hit their numbers? That's one thing I'm not sure about because this was a video from like 2 days ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Montoya. Invictus has been extended for another day or two, and we are sitting on roughly $18 million worth of sales. I'm curious to know how this compares to previous years and what this may mean if we're falling short. Let's take a look at what is happening. Right now, we're closing in on 18 million. Last year, for the same period, they had 21 million in sales. Now, consider that last year, the ships which were selling were...
Okay, looks like they didn't. Here's a PNG. So, yeah, it looks like they just fell short. This is from Reddit. I don't know what the actual number is there, but you can kind of see it fell a little bit short of the numbers from last year, right?
Essentially the Scorpius, which I believe was $200 Warbond, correct me if I'm wrong, and the Anvil Legionnaire, which was a cute. It's a nice little docking boarding ship. I picked one up just because it looks cool. But
okay, I was actually curious about this because I've asked a few times and I never could remember what they were. What were the big ships at Invictus last year? The X-Wing fighter, right? Which is, I'm sorry, way better looking than the Fury and way more like feeling useful than the Fury, right? And then the Anvil Legionnaire, which honestly, of all the concept ships, probably one of the cooler concept ships they've done. It tied in hacking, it tied in boarding, it has, what would it be called? PvE applications. It has PvP applications. So I think everybody was interested in it, right?
The big seller was definitely the Scorpius because this is a heavy fighter. It looks like an X-Wing. Everyone loved it and sales were awesome, as you can see by this huge orange bar over here. This year, they went a different way and they brought in a cheaper ship. So I like what they did here.
Now, my other question is, what patch was it around? Was this when they made the servers 100 players? Was this the first 3.17 patch? Was there some more excitement around it? I think there's so many things. This is 3.17 too. So this was the 100 player. Like, this was an exciting time for Star Citizen as well, right? This was their content patch that they argued could have been called 3.18. I think we could break this down a lot. I'm going to let Montoya do it first, and at the end, I'll share my feelings on why or why not, or why this is actually not good at all, in my opinion.
What they did was brought in the Fury. Now, I picked up one of these. I spoke about this in the previous video. Go check it out if you want my opinion. And look, it has its drawbacks. It has its shortcomings. It's a snub fighter. It doesn't have a quantum drive. The fuel's terrible. And if you sneeze at it, you lose your maneuvering thrusters. But it's priced at $55, which is fairly affordable compared to last year's ship, which was $200. Not everyone is willing to spend $200 on an internet spaceship. So $55 is what they went for, the cheaper option. So how many of these ships did they sell? Taking a look look into the breakdown of the numbers of itself, we can see that the day that the Mirai Fury went on sale, they made $1.3 million in sales. Now, that doesn't count the packs, or the 12 pack they had? They had a pack full of
$500 pack of
it was
these
very
dumb
cool.
things.
Not that I got one, but I guess if you own an Idris and you have lots of friends, then go for it.
Dude, no way. So apparently this was also released at Invictus, and I was very much an advocate for this post, in which nearly none of it came true. And I looked so stupid, right? And I deserve every bit of criticism. I believed them this time. I believed them. But this was the letter from the chairman, which honestly inserted a lot of confidence for me. So at this point, there was tons of confidence in Star Citizen. They were putting out cool ships, 317, but cool things were on the horizon, right? PES, server meshing. It's happening, right? Like, that's what it felt like.
But essentially, at $55 a pop, if they sold 1.3 million, let's estimate roughly 20,000 were sold, which isn't bad. 20,000 people, not people, well, 20,000 individual ships of these were sold. Not a bad number itself. Looking at the other days, Aegis had a very good day with almost 1.35.
And Aegis delivered nothing, right? Aegis made 1.3 million, and they offered nothing. Nothing new.
800,000. The Tumbril Storm, which is the new concept tank, came in at 1.1 million, and Drake Day, big, at almost 1.4 million. I see a lot of people I know actually went and got the Kraken, surprisingly. So that sold very, very well. So for the month of,
I mean, of all the big ships, the Kraken's the coolest.
Day, but so far for the month and one more day to come, looking.
Isn't the interest? I mean, they didn't offer anything new. Right? It's just the same old stuff that people have had opportunities to get.
At 18,176,000 right there, right below my camera over there, is the total so far with one more day to go. So, yeah, they may come close. It may hit 19 million. So, very close indeed. Now, the surprising part is this. Patch 318 was horrendous. It was terrible. The game was buggy as hell, crashing. People couldn't log in. In fact, right now, I still know individuals in my Discord who still cannot log in. They get in the 19,000K era.
Yeah.
It just doesn't let them get into the game. They've tried reinstalling. They've tried refreshing. Whatever they do, it doesn't work. So in light of the very, very bad performance of the previous patch, they're still in line with 2022. I've said this before in previous videos discussing this topic, and that is you can't expect every year to be a record-breaking year. And we have yet to see it, apart from the early years, but we've yet to see it in recent years. Every year is breaking records. And keep in mind that next month, there's going to be Alien Week. And in Alien Week, there might be a new concept.
So they finished off about 2 million less.
Now, the blue areas here are the previous years. That's May. This is June. And we can see how the Junes have looked last year, pretty decent at 10 million. So considering that the Suntok Yai, which is this ship, may come, well, will come on sale again.
It really depends on how they market this one. I think I truly believe. Let me know, how you guys are feeling. I truly believe people are getting numb or bored of the combat stuff, and I think people are more interested in the other aspects of the game more. There are so many combat ships. There is so much variety there. There's so much choice that I'm not sure. They have to market this thing like it is the best thing since sliced bread if they want it to sell a ton, right? But like I see in chat from Standing Cow, Hull C is going to be a huge seller, right? That's sort of how I'm gauging. That's how I feel. I don't know how everybody else feels, so I'm kind of putting that out to you guys. You know how you're feeling about that, but this could potentially be a big seller, or it can be a bit of a bust depending on like the community sentiment and how they're feeling now. But the difference is they're always getting new people, so the new people start finding their interests, and obviously, since most of the stuff is still combat, they're going to find some interesting combat chips for them. So still selling combat chips, I think, still makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. This could be really good or could be really bad.
I don't know if this is ready to go flight ready. They may surprise us with it. If they are planning on making some good money next month, then this should be the focus to get this flight ready.
It'll be flight ready.
This sold for $200 worldwide, so $220 around that price there when it's sold and in concept. So if this does go on sale and it is flight ready, which we don't know, then we can expect a good June month to bring us in line with the previous year.
Like we know they're going to sell the Banu Merchantman, and it's going to sell regardless of the sentiment around the Banu Merchantman. Other alien ships, I think one of the reasons why they maybe mentioned the, what is it called? The cargo ship that has the weird shaped cargo as something that is going into production next year or within the next year. The Gaktak Raylan. Yeah, thank you, chat. The Gaktak Raylan. I think they mentioned that loosely in last week's SCL because it's going to be a big part of the sale for this this Alien Week.
Apart from that, August, September, October, not much happening. But then November, December is when we have the IAE, and that is the big month. That's when the big sales happen again. And as you can see in recent years, that is when all the action takes place. So as far as the financial health goes, as far as sales go, I would say I am pretty bullish, surprisingly, in light of the horrible experience of 318, even 319 right now. The issue we're having right now is there was the Invictus event, there's a free fly event, which is always tough on the servers, and a jump town on top of everything else at the same time. I know I'm having problems at the terminals. If you are lucky enough to spawn at Grim Hex, good luck to you. Might as well shut down the game because the terminals are not working.
Stonks
you
are
not getting out of there.
Okay.
I had to relaunch several times to find a server where I can access a terminal to pull a ship. It's not good looking good. It's looking bad. The experience right now is pretty bad. I spoke to a couple of people who do actively push for referrals, and they said the referrals they have, a couple of people have refunded. Well, one individual said that 7 out of 10 of the people who used his referral code actually refunded. I don't know how you see that. I haven't seen that personally, but apparently you do see if someone has basically used a referral code, bought the game, and then refunded the game, I guess it pulls a referral away from you. So
I didn't know that. That's so funny.
Buying the game, having a bad first experience, and then leaving the game, very unfortunate. And I think we all know, those of us who played in this patch and the previous patch, it is rough. It is pretty rough. So I'm surprised even to see 18, 19 million compared to last year, which was pretty good. And the Scorpius, which was an amazing ship for $200, coming close to it. So in light of all the bad experiences and the bad servers, we are still closing in on the same figure as last year. To me, is impressive. So if they can just get the house in order there with the servers, get things working properly, I think we'll see a fairly impressive Alien Week. If there is a new concept coming up that will definitely push us over that. Did anyone say hover tank yet? Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm surprised. I would have thought this would have been much worse, but it looks like we're pretty much in line. Even with the bad servers, people are still excited for the game because when it does work, it is indeed very impressive. And, yeah, an extended day-to-day. We'll see what comes up with that. I expect it also. I mean, yesterday...
1.4 million yesterday. Yeah.
So impressive. Very impressive.
I think that's why they extended it.
Looking forward to what's coming down the pipe so far in 3.2, the ship trespass systems. The
3.2. We have so many numbers.
Cull C, which I think will also be another big seller.
Agreed.
When that comes back on. Right now we're 319. You've seen all this before. We're currently playing it, and it looks good. The RSI Link seems to be a crowd favorite. And that's what we have coming forward in the short term. So, overall,
my question is, how many more backers have we got since last year? How many new backers from this time, like from before Invictus or before, Invictus last year to now? That would be my question.
CIG is in good shape. Even with the bad servers, even with the horrendous performance, even with you being stuck at the terminals, not able to call your ship, sales are going along. And so far, at this point in time, it looks like 2023 will be in line with 2022 if there's a strong Alien Week and a few new concepts coming our way towards November, December. Looks like this might be a record-breaking.
Not just in May. How many from May of last year to May of this year is what I'm curious about.
As I've said, I don't think we'll see record-breaking years every single year.
No,
but
we will not.
So far, I eat my words because we're on track again for the same story. So there is your report. Hope you liked it. If you enjoy my content, ladies and gents, you know what to do. Comments below. How much did you spend during Invictus? I'm curious to know.
I spent $6 on a skin for my vulture, and it was store credit. 90,000 more citizens
try this game for the first time.
That's it.
What did they think about it? I think
that doesn't sound right.
Play experience is kind of rough, especially with the servers the way they are right now. But I'm curious to know what you may have seen.
Okay, most people say 0, and one guy says I don't want to talk about it.
Let me know. Post below. Give me a thumbs up. I'll catch you in the next one.
All right, and then someone said 1,400. Send help. All right, I'm really curious, and I think I was given a link here. Of the crowdfunding spreadsheet that you can actually see the number of backers as well. But the thing that I'm curious about is how many more accounts. And the reason why I think that matters is because the number needs to continue to go up. Because like the one thing that I think Montoya is not addressing here is what was their projection, which we'll never know, but I think we would all manage to guess that their projection is significantly higher than what they actually received. And a number of things can factor into that. So nearly 1 million new accounts since Invictus started last year. That's from chat. Rainwalker, everybody knows Rainwalker from Reddit. I think this is a good source that we're getting this from. So it was 887,926 new accounts since then, right? 900K accounts, let's say. 900,000 new people interested in Star Citizen. Those are just accounts. That doesn't mean that they pledged. All right? We don't know how many have pledged, how many didn't, but significantly more interest in Star Citizen than the previous year, right? There's a lot of people that are checking it out. A lot of people interested in Star Citizen in the past year. Therefore, you would imagine if CIG was doing a good job, you're getting money from previous backers during this event because new stuff is coming, or ships that they didn't have an opportunity to get are there. Now they can. And now you have 900,000 new people that were never there for the previous one, right? So, or I guess you could say 800,000 new people because it was like 150K people that signed up during Invictus last year. So that's sort of where I'm going. I'm not feeling bullish about anything. This looks really bad, right? And I think you can apply that to very underwhelming offerings and cheaper offerings at Invictus this year. But I think, in my opinion, mostly underwhelming. And the state of the game is horrible, right? So you got people refunding, like he said. You got people not able to play the game, so not even buying it in the first place. I think the free flies, if anything, probably backfired more than they helped. I imagine that they had a significantly higher number as their goal for this year, and they fell short of last year. This is a bad look. I know I'm a glass half empty kind of person, so let's try to make it a little bit glass half full. Let's go back to the video and I'll pause it. We obviously have this big red bar at the end of the year, right? And if they resolve some of the problems that they had here, the experience in Star Citizen when it's working is significantly better than it was at this orange bar here, right? If you're able to play the game and you're not crashing nonstop, what you can do in Star Citizen is massively improved from what people were spending money on here. There is a very big chance that this red bar is going to be huge. And they can possibly easily break 113 million because all they have to do is make the game a little bit more stable, put out all their marketing again, and I think you're going to get a lot of people backing and buying ships and doing these things than we got in the previous year, right? There is a lot of work to do, and then if you can actually play Star Citizen with cargo improvements, mining improvements, and we get a little bit of economy improvements, and I think we're in really good shape in terms of, like, just look at last year versus what we could have this year, and you imagine that the gameplay would reflect that, and they would make more money, right? I've already stated that this graph isn't updated, Bacon, but thank you. It's just $1 million. It's not that much of a difference, okay? The difference is that they've had significantly more backers, and those backers are not buying because the product is not good, right? If the product is good and the ships are cool, they're going to sell, right? And it really comes down to how smooth 320 is, that patch, right? And then moving into how exciting CitizenCon is. And I don't know how exciting it will be. I can't think of anything that they would show there outside of Squadron 42 stuff potentially that is that exciting, right? And we have the indications of all that stuff that are possible. But that's where I'm at with this is, no, we did not have a record May, but that doesn't mean that we can't have a record November, December, which is something that is definitely a possibility if the experience is more playable, because I think the product is a lot better. And I think the fact that the product is so bad right now is a good indication of you have to take care of the game, CIG. You have to take care of the game first and foremost now. Your stupid ship sales, whether you make a ship look like a TIE fighter or not, is not going to do it, right? It's not going to do it for you. You got to have a good product now. And that's where I hope everything I've been saying for God knows how many years is actually starting to become true. And they can't just throw pictures of ships out there anymore and expect to have exponential growth, right? You have to deliver a good product, and then you just might. And we'll see at the end of the year. If they do, I really hope we see a huge red bar. And we might, but we'll have to see.